Welcome back to the Dave Knows Wrestling live stream. I'm your host, David Lee. Coming in a little bit later than I usually do, and that was kind of on purpose because I keep saying that I'm going to change up the schedule of the Friday live streams, and I have yet to do so, so here we go. I know I have teased the idea that I might be coming on Saturdays, coming in live on the live streams on Saturdays, but I have yet to do that because something has come up every single Saturday, and tomorrow is no difference. Hey, what's up, Generate? Hey, what's up? Hello, friend. So, yeah, last week was NXT TakeOver, so I was going to be busy doing that, so I couldn't come on Saturday. And before that, I think I had a party or something to go to, but there was always something. And tomorrow is no different because I'm going to be meeting Sting down in Atlantic City. So it's going to be called the Boardwalk Beatdown, all big weekend. There's going to be like a wrestling dinner tonight. There's going to be a meet and greet tomorrow. And then there's also going to be a live wrestling event featuring members of the Bullet Club, Ring of Honor. So it's going to be pretty good. Oh, bye, friend. Hello. All right, bye, friend. Hey, happy Rusev Day unto you, Joe White. Delano Mercado, what's up? Hey, just started watching when the collab with Wrestling with Regret. That's what W3 is. I got it now. Started watching again. I'm a big fan. Thank you so much. Very glad to hear that, Wrestling Man. I know, I got what you mean, but I like the Friday streams. Okay, good. Yeah, so far they haven't moved yet. So tomorrow I'm going to be there. So if you see me at the meet and greet, please let me know. Bro, tell Sting Joe White said hey, and he's my favorite. Yeah, see, the interesting thing about Sting is because Capital Wrestling, who I work with, they're participating in the event. And also on top of that, my friend Sean, my best friend Sean, who's been on the program before, that's his favorite wrestler. But alas, he's away on a family vacation with his wife and daughter, so he doesn't get to meet Sting. I do. So there's that. You should start doing more history of wrestling vids. Thank you. Don't worry, more on the way. One is a big one that has been requested is definitely coming around. So that's for sure. So yeah, don't worry about that. Hey, what's up, Joshua? Hey, yeah, Warhawk Rambo. Yeah, Goldberg's gonna be there too. Plenty more names. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, the big one I'm looking forward to is Sting. So that's that. Match video. I was waiting for more of a response for that. Sting is the true wrestler of the 90s. Yes, Warhawk Rambo concurred. I have in mind who I need to do. Like as I said when it came out, that was a very labor-intensive video. It took a long time to make that video because a lot of research, a lot of math goes into it. And a lot of studying and research went into it. I wasn't intending to do it once a month like I do my other shows. It was supposed to be like a special occasion kind of thing, or like, eking them out slowly kind of thing. So I know what I'm going to do, but I am pretty sure I know the next match, but I'm not 100% sure which one. Yeah, if favorite wrestling style, Iron Monkey is correct for me on that one. If chain wrestling counts as a style, then that is my answer. If you're looking like for a region or whatever, I probably have to go with Canadian. Yo, what up, Double A, the man behind the great graphics and graphic designs you see. Check his station. Check out his channel. I am not late. This station, you are late. That's the problem. As I said, I keep saying that I'm going to move the live stream, but I have yet to actually do so. So I figured just go on a half hour later, just to try and make it different. Audio sounds a little noisy, a little hazy. Ooh. Anyone else having that problem, or is it just anybody else? No, Bret Hart is the wrestler of the 90s. You can make the argument for Bret, and I'm not going to argue. I'm never really going to argue with Bret. Ooh, let me see if I can fix that. Is that any better? Oh, it sounds good to me. Okay. When you play back stream, you will see. Probably just me. Okay, does this sound better to anybody? Oh, Berserker. How could I forget? That is the correct answer. What up? How was TakeOver and SummerSlam? Really, really good, King Barrett. King Barrett, you know, some people say that you're a bot, but you seem to be asking prevalent questions, so you're a really good bot if you are one. Oh, let me just... There's also another piece of equipment in the studio that was on, and I didn't know why it was on. I didn't realize it until I started messing around with the equipment, but the CD player was on for some odd reason. And it's like, it's the CD player. Who uses a CD player nowadays? So I just had to turn it off. Maybe it was affecting something. I don't know. Yeah, somebody messed with the levels. Yeah, I'm waiting for him to respond. But Shockmaster is the wrestler of the 90s. TakeOver and SummerSlam were awesome. Why? Why what? My bro wants to start a wrestling YouTube channel. Cool. He asked me to help him with the graphics. Well, you're the right guy. Hey, what's up, Jenna? Why was the CD player on? I have no idea. I just noticed it. Can you explain the southern style of NWA wrestling as towards Midwest and West Coast? Ooh, that's a good one. I have gotten a few requests about that. I definitely tend to get into... I would like to get into that. And you know what? Truth be told, when I do the styles of wrestling, I've been like going globally, and so I have been trying to... I haven't really been focusing on the Americas too much, you know, getting as domestic, and I definitely should be. Oh, why is the CD on? Yeah, I have no idea why the CD player's on. I just walked in and it's on. No one has... I couldn't even tell you the last time someone has used that. In the time I've been here, no one's used that, so... But... King Barrett is probably a real person, also in charge of Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks accounts. Oh. Ms. Jenna, you changed your thumbnail. She did. You guys are starting to become my work buddies. Well, you guys are mine. You can, yeah, it's like Cheers. Everybody knows your name here, IR Monkey. You can also make an argument for The Undertaker. You know, The Undertaker's actually a better argument. Okay, so there we go. That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's see, who is the wrestler of the 90s in your opinion? He was listening to his Britney Spears. Oh, no. I learned a long time ago, Britney's... you know, I know I've made a very big deal, or it's been well known that I have an affinity for blonde girls. And while I'm not saying Britney is unattractive, she's never really done it for me. I think she's pretty, but she just... It's like Taylor Swift. I was like, okay, she's attractive. I don't really care, though. I was always a Christina Aguilera guy. There. Okay, Ludwig Borga, boss man. I am getting... Matty Action, I don't know if you're serious or not, because that could go either way with you. Bret Hart is the wrestler. Okay, see, here's my thing. The reason why I initially went with Sting was because Sting... As you know, he was rated very highly from PW Insider. He managed to single-handedly combat... or as a face at least, single-handedly combat, for the most part, WWF and keep WCW afloat. And he was really big and throughout the decade. Early 90s, he rocked it. You know, the King of Cable, his matches with Vader, Rick Rude, Flair. Late 90s, same thing with, you know, Hogan, and, you know, you could even make the argument Flair again. He had all those matches later on as the Crows thing. So we had two different eras throughout the decade, and he rocked all of it. Bret... You know, I'm not going to argue Bret, but Bret is one of my favorite wrestlers ever by far. And as much as I disagree with people when they say he had no business in the Attitude Era, because that's incorrect, because his heel turn I thought was great, let's be real, Bret's earlier part of the 90s was really Bret. The later part of the 90s, especially after he went to WCW, really didn't favor him. They didn't treat him like he should. Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up, Nathan Norman? Yeah, all about the Christina Aguileras. She was like my big crush when I was in high school. Can we mention the... you're wrong if you mention him, but yeah, because that's based off of nothing. He didn't even win a world title until the later half of the 90s, so I think he's automatically disqualified. Personal bias aside. Undertaker, sure, is a really good answer. I'm not going to deny it. I don't know if I'm serious or not. You can make the case either way. Mr. Perfect is a better candidate. I like that you don't know either. Yeah, see, Austin, same thing. Well, Austin, huge mega superstar, and you know Austin's my favorite. Huge superstar. No doubt about that in the later half of the 90s, but that's the thing. He only had half the decade. That's the reason why I'm not giving it to him. He only had half the decade. Sting consistently. Undertaker's a good pick too. The only reason I don't go with the Undertaker was because Austin's run was too short. Yeah, and that's kind of Capital Wrestling. Hey, what's up, Steve? I'd say Undertaker. The reason why Sting is probably. I still kind of lean towards Sting, but Undertaker's a really, really good answer. But for me, the reason why I am hesitant to put it on the Undertaker is because he missed a lot of milestones. He missed WrestleMania 10. You know, he was hurt for he spent a lot of time hurt. Maybe not a lot of time, but he missed like big chunks at a time. And his WrestleMania 13 match with Sid, he had some down periods. He's a good answer still, nonetheless. Oh, Bastion Booker, how could I forget? He's never been the guy. Who's never been the guy? Nathan Norman Hay. Surfer Sting would be awesome. Hope to come. Or Undertaker does. Yeah, and that's the thing. He's also never been. WWF never treated him as the number one. They should have, but they never have. What's up, Joe? Waves. Taker was never considered the guy either. Oh, okay. So that's kind of my thing. They said Bret had a good chunk of the 90s. Don't get me wrong. Gilbert. Of course, Gilbert. How could I forget? So, but that's why I lean towards Sting. Because just Sting really had a good run of dominance. Albeit, and it was in WCW, but it was throughout the entire decade, so I think there's there. Seriously, what about Ric Flair? Flair's an okay answer, but he wasn't at his peak in the 90s. He really wasn't. As much as I love Ric Flair and as much respect as I give Ric Flair, same thing. I kind of can't, and not for nothing, you can't even. If I'm going to say Flair, you could also say Hogan too, but I don't say Hogan for the same reason I'm not saying Ric Flair, is that the later half of the 90s kind of weren't their time. Their ship has kind of passed. Nathan, like 80s was definitely Hulk Hogan. Fine. Did he come out the gate swinging in 1980? No, but by far and away from 1983 on down was all Hulk Hogan. Evil Man is the rest of the 90s. Max Muscle celebrating mediocrity in the new and bland ways. Yo, Dave, I hit up that graphic artist you told me about, and he gave me a too sweet header. Oh, Double A? He's here. Flair was the wrestler of the 80s. Yeah, see, the 80s, it's Flair or Hogan. And Hollywood Hogan has had his renaissance in the 80s. Define Renaissance wrestling, man, because that's an interesting term you use, and I'm interested to know what you mean by that. Dave, we should have that live stream party for Brock and gone from WWE. See, I don't know that he's gone. I know he's not going to be around for a while. But what was the difference between? Uh-oh. Internet. Oh, there we go. WCW 1995 or WWF 1995? That's a tough one. Cody Omega, that's a very good question. I can't give it to Foley. I like Foley a lot, but I can't give it to him. Who's the modern Flair, Hogan, Dusty? There is none. There is none. Dave, the real answer is the Dungeon of Doom. It is the real answer for a very different question. He did win like 9 titles in the 90s. Yeah, no, I know. That's true. Hogan won a lot of titles in the 90s too. I mean, not 9, but he... Actually, maybe. I understand that, but Flair was not at his peak. Yet, I mean, career-wise, sure, but, he also won titles in the 2000s. Not world titles, but he won things then. I'm not going to start counting that as a good run. I'm not going to count that as anything special for Flair. He joined the Triple Crown Club in the 2000s. I'm not going to say the 2000s was a good decade for Ric Flair. Jimbo, you're dropping. Brett, otherwise. No, it is not Shawn Michaels at all. Didn't win his first world title until 1996. After 1998, took the last 2 years of the 90s off. So he has 2 years as world champion and 3 WrestleMania main events. Can't give it to him. And that's in his company. I understand Sting has 0 WrestleMania main events, but he wasn't there. He headlined plenty of Starrcades. Dude who made your YouTube header is the one I'm talking about. Yeah, that's Double A. He's right here, right, man? True, I hear Monkey. Stephen Phillips and Double A, you're both here. Flair in the 80s in terms of work was probably the best wrestler out of that decade, but as far as a draw and cultural, no one tops Hogan, period. I agree to that. Stephen James, if I can call you Stephen James. Brett took the last 2 years off in WCW. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Ultimately is why I can't give it to Brett. It's just because it's the later half of the 90s. Okay, what superstar should have won a belt but never ever won one? See, that's a great question, and I know it's a common one. I know it's nothing new. Sean should. Duck. That stupid thing. I don't see how he should have been anything, or he would have been anything. Yeah, losing a smile, you mean AKA blowing his paycheck up his nose and disrespecting Marine? That guy? Yeah. Anyway, what was I about to mention? Female wrestler of the 90s. Lita? Question mark? I like that question, who should have won the belt, because times have changed. Now, if you don't win a world title, it's like, what's wrong with you? Back then, there were plenty of wrestlers who never won it. If I have to pick one, I'm going to say Roddy Piper. That's right, Matty Action. You tell him. Oh, yeah, WCW 1998 versus WWF 1998. Good call. I say WWF. 1995, I'm still thinking about that because that's a good question. Because WCW hadn't really taken off yet. WCW hadn't really, because I'm a big NWO guy. So in 1995, WCW wasn't there yet. 1995 for WWF, on the other hand, wasn't so great either. You know, it was it was a tough, like, hokey kind of era. It was the hokiness of the 80s was kind of, they figured out about halfway through the 90s that, oh, the 80s are over and we can stop beating this dead horse. So that's a tough call. I'm going to say WWF if I have to pick for 1995, but what about you guys? WWF, WCW, or ECW 1997? It's not WWF because of the screw job. 1997, it's not WCW because of how they botched the ending of Starrcade at the very end of the year, so it's ECW by default. WCW 1995, but barely. See, you could switch me on to saying WCW 1995 pretty easily. I'm not gonna really fight you too hard on that one. It's not my first choice. You know, I said WWF first, but you could convince me pretty easily. How about you guys? Like, give me some examples of 1995 WWF, WCW, and we'll talk about which one you think is better. 2007, well, here's a weird one. 2007 TNA versus 2005 WWE. Why not the same year? That's interesting. I almost want to give it to TNA. Because 2005 WWE was painful. It was what really turned me off to the company. Like, that year. Not that year, but the events of that year was kind of what got me to really... You know, like, for the most part, I'll say this much. Until 2005, as WWE, sure, I was happier at some times and more disappointed than other times. But when I became a real jaded wrestling fan was definitely 2005. Sure, it was like a slow process, but by then I was just like, oh, forget it, I don't care anymore. 1995 was just a bad year for American wrestling. That is true. King Mabel, 1995. Yeah. 1995 was a good job gimmick year. Hey, what's up, Naheem? TNA was good from 2005 to 2010. Yeah, but see, the only reason it's a tough call is because 2005 TNA was just the beginning of TNA getting the ball rolling. But yeah, I think I kind of have to say TNA. Arn Anderson, because he would still have ran the U.S. till the WWF bought company. Arn Anderson's not a bad answer. I'm like a huge Piper guy, so you know, Piper is like my dad's favorite wrestler. So, you know, my dad likes Piper a lot. So I kind of have to say, you know, that kind of helps sway my vote a little bit. Well, plus I think Roddy could do it. Like, when people say Jake Roberts never won the title, okay, and well, I have no problem with him winning one. It's just okay, you know, he still had a fantastic career without doing it. I meet a lot of wrestlers, but the best one and the nicest was James Storm. Nice, interesting. ECW One Night Stand. Oh, crap! Never mind, I have to say WWE now. Wait. No, wait. Yes. I forgot about One Night Stand. Wait, was it? Oh, that killed. Oh, wait, don't. That's not fair. That's cheating. That is totally cheating. I just gotta check something real quick. Oh, man. Oh man, you want it. You changed his vote. I can't say anymore. I have to say WW. That's a technicality, Jimbo. It's a technicality, but Jimbo, you convinced me. Because of ECW One Night Stand, I have to say 2005 WWE. See, the stuff that happened after, the fake ECW that happened after, that really, really made me angry. Like, it really upset me. But I forgot about that actual One Night Stand pay-per-view itself. I have to, oh man, that completely switches it, and I don't want to. Oh, remember when you made a paper apron for... Yes, I did. So, in case you guys don't know, Manny Action, me and him used to work together. Coincidentally, not far from where I am right now. But we worked together, and on his desk he had a little Arn Anderson action figure. And when we used to play, me and Maddie, we used to play pranks on each other all the time. We used to do the dumbest office pranks to each other, just nonstop. And this wasn't really a prank. I just did it for whatever reason. I made a paper apron and a chef hat for Arn, so he was just sitting there wearing it. And I thought... I don't know why I thought this would make him mad or it would count as a prank, but he came back and he thought it was funny and just left it. And it was there the entire time while we worked together. Retrospectively, I should have known you would have found that funny, but at the time, for some reason, I'm like, oh, this is going to get him. I won this prank war. I clearly didn't. Best part of 2005, ECW One Night Stand. Yeah, I know. That's a good point, Jimbo. I didn't think about that. I just thought about all the stuff in 2005 that made me angry, but that's a very good point. Jake Roberts should have at least been Intercontinental Champ. I mean, I'm not opposed to giving him about it. I'm really not. I don't think he fit the Intercontinental Championship criteria, though. He wasn't an IC champ, especially at that time. Especially for the criteria. Hey, Okada title reign or CM Punk's? Oh, I got to give it to Okada. Like, I love CM Punk. And CM Punk, we talked about this in the live stream a little while ago, where I said, was CM Punk's title run a success? And you guys, or people who were there, just kind of said, and some people said good, some people said bad, some people said it's all right. So the consensus was it was in the middle. Okada's title reign was great, so I like CM Punk's title reign. Don't get me wrong, I understand that there were some parts of booking that failed him. I didn't like the way it ended at all. He never should have lost to Rock, but there you go. Okada should have lost to Kenny Omega, and that was fine. There was nothing wrong with that ending. CM Punk, I found it interesting that he heel turned during his title reign. I found that very, very interesting because, like the Macho Man who turned during his own title reign, that doesn't happen often, and it doesn't. And I liked it for that, for that factor, for the fact that Macho did it, for the fact that it's unique, it's rare, the fact that it was. Teaming up with Heyman and making him a bad guy, I thought was cool. But I understand that didn't go over with everyone. Some people just didn't like the fact that he turned heel. Some people didn't care. And I get it. And also some people were, and I gotta admit, I'll agree with this. I didn't see a whole lot of great matches and from CM Punk. I shouldn't say great matches. I liked the matches; they were fine, but they weren't built up as main events. They weren't, he had a couple of matches with Daniel Bryan. I know people love Daniel Bryan, and they wanted to do that Ring of Honor style. I almost said Ring of Honor style in the WWE as a main event. His matches with Jericho, and they were good, but they didn't get the billing they were supposed to. And I think you guys know what I mean. John Cena would have the match after him. Why? John Cena and The Rock were going after. Why? It was just ridiculous. Dave, do you watch Glow? The show, the Netflix show, or the real Glow that, as far as I know, isn't on the air anymore, because I've done reviews of both seasons of Glow already. Long-time fan, first time in the live stream. Well, D-Roy boy, welcome. Welcome to No and All Nation. I'm sure everybody's going to be very happy that you're here. If Nikki Bella doesn't beat Ronda, I quit watching wrestling. Harry, man, I'm more worried about Ronda being too rough with Nikki, because, Nikki, she has some, I know Bree's got a bad neck, but I feel like Nikki's kind of banged up too. So I'm worried about, the really green Ronda Rousey hurting her. Got to interview Pritchard once. Whoa, wrestling, man, that is awesome. Yeah, man. Dude, if you interview Pritchard, man, that sounds like you're bigger than me. Yeah, that's happening. But they're not on the poster for Evolution. The Bellas aren't there. I was watching during the CM Punk era. Cool. Oh, you weren't watching. Oh, never mind. A Big Van Vader versus Okada would be a money match. That is a very, very Japanese-sounding match. Yes, that would be a good one. See you, Dave. Got to go back to it. All right, man. Thanks so much for stopping by, Stephen Phillips. And thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Thank you for the likes. What's going on? That one guy you love. Hey, welcome back, buddy. I'm chilling on 2K18. Cool. Nikki has a bad neck since her old finish. I thought she did. Okay, because like when Breeze got the neck brace, so I always thought, I'm like, they can't be that identical, but evidently they are. I interviewed me. Hey, the Train is back. What's up, Train? Where you been at, man? Harry's been picking up your slack because nobody's been busting on Albert without you around. Where were you born yet the original? Were you? Yes, I was, Arthur. Because I'm pretty sure I'm older than you. I'm not pretty sure, but I think I am. Or we're around the same age. Rhonda pulling a Bane and breaking her back on spot. Oh, jeez. Is Rhonda the female Bane? Okay. I'm not crazy about Rhonda. She does better than I expected because I thought she would be a total dumpster fire. And the fact that she's not a total... Hey, Amy, what's up? The fact that she's not a total dumpster fire. I'm not saying she's good. I'm just saying she's not a total dumpster fire. It's surprising. Would you ever go meet and greet in NYC? Maybe WrestleCon 2019? Oh, yeah. I mean, I do wrestling stuff all the time. I'm available in New York City or similar places often. I've been sleeping. Oh, Train's been sleeping. Wrestlers of the 50s. Huh. So, yeah. So, not opposed to it. If I go to wrestling events, I just tell people where I'm at. So, yeah, Atlantic City, New Jersey, tomorrow. I'll be there. Boardwalk Beatdown. Convention. Sting. I'm either going to be in the convention, meeting Sting. Hey, Amy. Or, okay, it's fine. You are older than me, Arthur. Do a meet and greet, I mean. Yeah, no, so I'm not opposed to it. I know we were close, though. What happened to real... I stopped doing it just because it was hard... I stopped doing it just because I had a hard time coming up with it, and I feel like it's a cute name, but it kind of confuses people, so I just stopped doing it. I was slowly trying to phase it out. I hope no one noticed. Luthez not a bad answer. Ooh, but Karl Gotch is the correct answer. Frank Gotch. Karl Gotch, I would say. Came out to Frank. Gotcha. Rhonda isn't bad and can actually work a decent match. But she can't act at all. Her acting is atrocious. Sting is a sucker from the Rucker. What? Not much, just figuring out how the ninja... You got a Ninja Blast blender. Look, I know it's like $1 bajillion, but you gotta go Vitamix. I went to Walmart the other day and saw One Man Gang. Like an action figure or the real One Man Gang? Because that's awesome. And did you call him One Man Gang or did you call him Hakeem? People forget about Ken Shamrock and Dan Severn. They were good hands, but locked in the mid-card. And Ronda. Yeah, that's a good point, too. Although Ken Shamrock, once again, kind of stiff. So that was his, a lot of people talked about that. The Boardwalk Beatdown, I want to walk to Atlantic City to see the women. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say they really, really want to go to New Jersey for the women. That's new. And there's a lot of people in the chat a lot older than me. All right, we'll take it easy, WA. Don't let everybody's age scare you off. 29. All right, Warhawk Rambo. Nice. And thank you for the thumbs up. We're up to 10. Thank you. Hey, D-Roy. Hey, D-Roy. Hey, D-Bone. Frank. From 1900s. Frank Gotch from 1900s or Karl Gotch from 1950s. Karl Gotch? Karl Gotch. I knew what you meant, wrestling name. Karl Gotch. Karl Gotch, but when you, first of all, if you listen to New Japan commentary in English, they will not stop talking. There's two guys they will not stop talking about, Antonio Inoki and Karl Gotch. So you kind of get brainwashed into it after a while. But all the research I have, I vacationed while in New Jersey. No kidding, Warhawk Rambo. I feel like I have been to Wildwood. I'm not sure, though. I've been somewhat, because when you're from, the New York, when you're, from New York, and then someone says the Jersey Shore, you just think of it as one long thing that, begins somewhere and then ends at Atlantic City. So, I don't really know. And Asbury Park's somewhere in there. I know I've been there, but that was for an NXT show, so I know I've been there. Hope didn't miss too much. Just got the notification. You have not, but thank you for the thumbs up, guys. I don't think they have. We were just talking about who the wrestler of the 90s is, as well as comparing different companies in different years. Who's the best? New York, we have a problem. Come on, Amy. You know I'm from New York. This can't be new. It can't be news to you. There's no way you've gone these 2 years without knowing that I'm from New York. Would you rather see Reigns or Ronda with Heyman? I'd rather see her with Ronda, but not really. I mean, they're billing Ronda as a good guy, so why would they do that? And on top of that, if they're sending Kurt Angle home, and allegedly Kurt Angle is coming back as a full-time wrestler, and that's why they told him to take a vacation. But I'd rather see Heyman as a GM of Raw, or a commissioner, or whatever stupid nonsense. Yeah, GM, yeah. I feel like we're a pretty odd mix of ages. Oh, we definitely are. Which is cool. Because wrestling really does translate. It's, across time periods and, across ages. So I think that's pretty cool. Sasha Banks is reckless. Yeah. Carl Banks pioneered Japanese shoot-style wrestling. He was very influential in working with Antonio Inoki to help develop the style. Like, I have a video explaining all about Japanese, strong style wrestling, and that's in there. So, like, I'm not going to rehash all that content there, but yeah, I have a video on the history of strong style, and yeah, Karl Gotch is, kind of a big deal for that. Dave, have you been to Maine? I have not, but I have always wanted to check it out. There are a couple places in America that I haven't been to that I want to check out, and that is kind of one of them, because I've heard really good things about Maine. My girl Rhonda. Joe, I know that feeling. Okay, just found out the lid to the other blender. Okay, gotcha. The real answer is George Hackenschmidt. George Hackenschmidt, by the 50s, I feel like his time was kind of waning. But George Hackenschmidt was a really good answer. Because, he was around. I mean, Hackenschmidt was around way earlier than that. Yeah, wasn't he done by the 50s? Wait a minute, I just started piecing things together. Yeah, he was done by the 50s, I believe. The Shield is heel. Is they heel? I mean, okay, but if we were to do a real fake real, I'm pretty sure we could do it on Becky Lynch. And is she a good heel or not? And I'm pretty sure, resoundingly, everybody's going to say real fake. Buddy Rogers is a good answer. What's it like being in tri-state area? I never lived outside of it, so it's the same. There are way stiffer women than Ronda. Yeah, no, there are. I'm not going to deny that. I heard the fishing in Maine is good. I am a terrible fisherman. Wrestler of the 90s, either. Well, on the conversation we were having, so the first nomination was Sting, and I kind of backed it up because I said how he was really dominant in the beginning, as well as converting the Crow Sting. He had the whole decade, where a lot of other wrestlers, like Austin, only had the tail end of it. Brett, kind of fell off towards the tail end of it. Sting was the guy I can think of who actually succeeded the best throughout the entire decade. Who is the best heel of all time? You got to say Ric Flair. I mean, you really do. If you don't say Ric Flair, you can make some arguments. Like, you can make the argument. I mean, I make the argument sometimes for The Undertaker. Because The Undertaker's very high up for me because when he first debuted, he made little kids cry. It's, I wasn't a little kid when The Undertaker came out, but I was older, and you see kids like a little younger than me, like crying when the lights went out. So, I mean, that's as heel as it gets. We have gorgeous beaches in Alabama today on the subject of places. Oh, really? Definitely never been to Alabama. Opinion on King's Road style of All Japan Pro Wrestling. I intend to revisit that because I briefly talked about King's Road style and it wasn't very in depth, or it was just my segue to talk about other stuff. I don't know. See, when people say best heel of all time, I can't say Mr. McMahon because he wasn't really a wrestler. That's why I don't say that. $1 Million Man's not a bad answer. My thing is, I like it all. I like it because I'm more of a catch guy, catch wrestling kind of guy. So it makes more sense for me to like it, as opposed to, I don't want to. I like catch more than I like shoot wrestling. I'll put it that way. And I know there is some crossover there. I get it, but I'm just saying, Dave, it's too Yankee to go to Alabama. Yeah, it's like I would feel like it's my cousin Vinny. What a capital wrestler! Hogan and Steamboat may be the greatest baby faces ever. Used to be scared of the Undertaker. Yeah, that's the thing. Undertaker was like super scary. Like friend Johnny, who was on the podcast once, he said that when he was a little kid, because he's younger than me, he said that when he was a kid and it was when Undertaker was going to embalm Stone Cold Steve Austin, he asked his dad, what does that mean? And that's when he found out, and he like freaked out at the idea. I mean, Undertaker used to really scare people. He used to really scare little kids, and that's really there. Name your top 5 or 10 mystery wrestlers. Hey, Andy, what do you mean by mystery wrestlers, buddy? How dare you, IR Monkey? What did IR Monkey say? Oh, yeah, dumb to you. No one gets sympathy like Hogan. That is absolutely true, Steve. My friend told me that WCW wrestling shows in the 80s when the Horsemen came out to the arena got quiet. Yeah, don't get me wrong. That's why I say Flair. I still say Flair, but The Undertaker is a strong second place for me, and you might be able to flip me on it if you try hard enough. I'm too young to go to Alabama, and you're from West Virginia. West Virginia counts as Yankee? I've heard stories about West Virginia. I'm just saying. I wasn't scared of The Undertaker back in the day. I was scared of Papa Shango. Whoa, Papa Shango! Papa Shango was awesome. The Undertaker didn't scare me, but he was creepy at first. But yeah, okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm not saying he scared everybody, but he definitely had an effect. He was something. The only reason you like Catch is because you've never real British wrestling from the old world of sport. Whoa, Nathan Norman. As I covered in my first episode about British-style pro wrestling, British wrestling, professional wrestling, did spring out from Catch because it became the dominant sport. It became the dominant amateur style. Wait. Wait, right there. I like Catch because I like chain wrestling. I like holds going from one hold to another. So why I like Catch is because there's a lot of holds. The more holds you get, the more holds you can do, the more you can chain. So I don't know how to explain it any more than that. So now. So I'm just saying. So if you did the research on this channel or about British style pro wrestling, you understand that Catch is a very big deal about it. I know Americans have really, really adopted the Catch format, but I'm still saying I still firmly maintain its ability in England as a precursor to the DNA of British wrestling. Opinion on wrestlers who drag the belt and throws it. It's fine. I get it. It's disrespectful to the title, but I don't think it's the end of the world. Best heel ever in my Ted DiBiase was the most. Yeah, Ted DiBiase is a great answer. Absolutely. When we'd. Who didn't? What, Andy? I missed something? Okay, and thank you for the thumbs up. When we'd who didn't? I don't understand. Wrestler of the 90s gobbledygooker. Okay, that's Hector Guerrero, wrestler of the 90s. A good friend, I'm sure of it. Do you think that the Hart Foundation should go into the Hall of Fame? Absolutely. Long overdue. The Sheik is one of the best pure heels ever. I don't know why my nose is itching so much. It's like there's dust in the air or something. Do you think WWE should back to having one world? Absolutely. I don't know why they keep doing this. They've been doing it forever, and as soon as I think finally one world championship, they have to make 2 again. It just drives me crazy. What superhero would be a great wrestler, Dave? Spider-Man. Very agile. And he already has some experience as a pro wrestler. Best heel, Jake Roberts. Flair was getting cheered. It's a fair point. $1 Million Man was hilarious. But Flair was also legit hated for periods of time. I mean, you tell me during this feud with the Von Erichs, you're going to tell me that, he got cheered sometimes. Yeah, Flair was definitely a legit heel against the Von Erichs. I mean, yeah, fine. He has gotten cheered. I'm not going to take that away. But Jake has been cheered too. For Foundation for Hall of Fame, Roddy Piper was an amazing heel. Roddy Piper's a great heel. I will not take that away. Dave knows. Coca-Cola. I don't have it right now. Good luck getting Owen and Davey in. I think he meant the tag team Brett and Anvil, but yes, that is a thing. That is a problem too. Nightwing is also a good answer. Nightwing isn't also a good answer. Circus guy doing acrobatics, be pretty good too. I agree. Get rid of the Universal title today. They should have gotten rid of it over a year ago. A better champion, Arquette or Russo? Da! Oh, jeez. None. They should have taken the belt in the back and shot it, rather than give it to either one of those two. Because every time I'm about to answer, I think about it and I want to throw up. So I'm not. No answer, Andy, JT, Aaron, neither. Jake Roberts with the Ultimate Warrior. It was superhero work. Very dark, very cool. Yeah, no, it was great. I'm not denying that. I'm definitely a Jake Roberts fan. Zack Ryder should team with Matt Riddle, bro. Whoa. Broskies. But I am tired of Zack Ryder being in tag teams. And I really don't think it will help Matt Riddle's career whatsoever. However, as Cody points out, he's pretty interested in getting to Zack Ryder. I have yet to watch the new World of Sport. I've seen old episodes of the old World of Sport, but I have yet to see the new one. Because I don't know where I can find it. The current one. Brock won the Universal Championship for Triple RP, I hear you on that. But really, did the Universal title have all that much to begin with? First champion only had it for a day. Kevin Owens did great, but then he loses it to a 50-year-old. And then Brock. And how much value did that belt really have? I mean, KO can only do so much. Love Young Justice. Great show. Glad that it's coming back. But I ain't buying the DC Network just to watch it, though. I feel like they ran Zack Ryder after WrestleMania win. Man, I think it was Curtin. Do you want a link? Sure, Andy. I'll take it. Is it one of those wink free links? Yeah, you can put it in the comment section of this video. I'm glad. And when I say I watched the old World of Sport, I mean the wrestling parts of it. I didn't watch the, horse racing or whatever else stuff they had on that. Shall I send you a link to watch for Dave? Yeah, absolutely. Put it in the comment section, not the chat, but put it in the comment section of this live stream so I can check it out. That way it's here and I can't, if it goes in the chat, I'm going to miss it. I hate having long pay-per-views. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Raven, when he put the Sandman. Yeah, that was a Healy thing. What territory would best fit AJ Styles? Whoa. Wow, a lot of action. Dave, email me at some point today if you can. I have info for Wednesday. Do I even have your email, Steve? I think I do. I should. Get it from Andrew if I don't. I'll get it from Andrew if I don't. Or do you have my email? Justin Lewis, nobody can force me to like Baron Corbin. Goldberg is better than Reigns. Fight me. I'm not arguing that. That's fine. It's really a low bar, Warhawk Rambo, so it's not like that really is much of a compliment. I hope so. Also, I think AJ and Memphis still could fit. Oh, and Steve, I also talked to Erica about the fact that you've been reaching out to her. Yeah, she did not know whatsoever because of her email problems that she's getting. Someone Lawler can beat up. I DM'd the link to you, bro. Do it in DMs. Didn't YouTube get rid of that, or aren't they trying to get rid of that? Goldberg hits a better spear by... Oh, well, that's true. The argument you could give to Reigns is that Goldberg is stiffer. Goldberg hurt more people. That's the only thing you can give to Reigns. But Goldberg's by far more charismatic than Roman Reigns. That's easily true. I told you Baron Corbin was Chief Morley 2.0. Oh, yeah. Do it on Twitter. Good call. Okay, Bret Hart. What about Bret Hart? Block Justin. Why would I block Justin? How about my boy Ambrose? He's been vicious. Yeah, Ambrose is good. Did I miss something? What are we talking about? Bret injured Goldberg. Yeah, well, I mean, Goldberg injured Bret. Yeah, no, believe me, I know that. I'm not arguing that. I hate that part. That's, yeah. But don't get me thinking about that since I see Goldberg tomorrow. I don't want to mouth off and be stupid and get myself kicked out of a building. Dave, what got you into New Japan, and what made you stay? The big one for me, the initial thing was Hulk Hogan and Antonio Inoki, because as a kid from the '80s, I really liked Hulk Hogan. Whatever people feel about it, I still like Hogan. I don't care what they do outside the ring for the most part. So I still like Hulk Hogan. I only care what they do outside of the ring if I don't like it, because then it just adds fuel to my argument. But if I like it in the ring, then I don't really care what you do outside of it. So I like Hulk Hogan, always liked Hulk Hogan, and when people said he couldn't wrestle, and then I was pointing out to New Japan saying, no, he did. He just wrestled more technically outside of the WWF because he knew American fans didn't care about that kind of stuff. And he's right. At the time, American fans, a lot of them didn't care about it, mainstream-wise, because he was bringing a mainstream audience. If you were American and you like technical wrestling, you watched the NWA. You weren't watching the WWF. Is he wrong? No. So anyway, I started watching stuff from New Japan, especially with Antonio Inoki, somebody who was similar size. And to this day, I also maintain that WrestleMania 5 is a good match, Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man. Just good match, period. So Hulk Hogan and Antonio Inoki, I saw that, I'm like, whoa. And that showed me that people did things differently. Like, even American wrestlers did things differently in New Japan. And it showed me how, Japanese style was a lot different. And I don't love really strong, stiff Japanese, Japanese shoot style, the aspect of that. I don't love. Sometimes it's like Makabe and Ishii, yes, then it's all inspiring. But for the most part, I don't love that. So, but even, this wasn't even the question, but that's what got me into it. It showed me how different things were, especially and then I'm a big Vader fan, and then, Vader's work in Japan. And so what kept me in there? If I'm giving a short answer, I'm going to say accessibility. When New Japan became available for me to watch more easily, then it became better. And that's really the key. I did a video on a bunch of non-network matches that you should check out for yourself. And it's just tons and tons and tons of matches. And a lot of them I just find on YouTube. So the more available it was to me, the better off I was. So yeah, New Japan. So Hulk Hogan sucked me into another wrestling company. And what kept me going is, just a lot of what they do. In the modern era, I'm a big Okada fan. I'm a big Tanahashi fan. I would say Nakamura, but he's not there anymore. So yeah. So I'm a big Okada and big really big Tanahashi fan. So that answers your question. An easier territory question: what territory would best fit Roman Reigns? Oh, yeah. Sadly, I still haven't answered your AJ question. I put Reigns in Minnesota. The north. The central north. AJ, I want to put him in the South just because he's from Georgia, but I don't really think he fits there. What about you guys? Any answers? Not yet, but I will. Okay. Anyone going to Boardwalk Beatdown Saturday to see Sting? Yeah, Capital Wrestling. Steve, I am going. Have you seen Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson versus Alistair Black, Tommy End? Tommy. Yeah, you know what the rest of that chant is. Shoot match. See, I'm not I don't love shoot. I like it, but I don't love it. No, it wasn't, but I know what he means. See, here's the other weird thing about shoot wrestling to me. Shoot has two different answers, because some people have said that, I'm not saying that's what it means, but some people have said the definition of shoot wrestling is shooting in for a limb. And that's not technically true. Shoot style is working a wrestling shoot, when you shoot off at the mouth, or some people say that's where the term shoot comes from, but kind of doing it for real, shoot style wrestling. So that, last I checked, is what the official term is. It's coming from working, from doing a shoot style wrestling like it's a shoot. That aspect, it's okay depending on who does it, but I don't love it. But then if it's shoot as in shooting in for a particular limb, like limb targeting, I'm all about that. That's cool. However, I will say I like Canadian shoot, but I'm a sucker for Canadian wrestling, so that's not really surprised. Dave, who would be a better champion, me or Albert? Oh, definitely you, Harry Flynn, by far. NFL would be good for Reigns. Yeah, there you go. Actually, he didn't do too well, so. King for Kenny, State for Naito. Really? Yeah, wow, really? Don't get me wrong, I like Naito, but I'm just surprised. He'll be back in Japan soon. Listen to Wrestle Talk. Those reports are. those reports are not 100% yet. AWA for Styles and WWF for Roman. AWA for Styles? Okay. Like, I want to put Roman in Minnesota just because of he's a big enough guy, and, you know, like, I think the Andersons could carry him is my biggest thing. Like, who do I think is, like, when people say, who do you think will work, like, how do you think you get a decent match, and I mean decent, a match out of Roman Reigns? You know, people want to point to your Daniel Bryans and your AJ Styles, and I get it, and they talk about those matches, and I get it, but to me, it's more exhausting watching AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan suffer trying to carry this dead weight. You know, but you take a guy like Arn Anderson. He's bigger. He can manhandle Roman Reigns around a little bit. He can make him move around whether he wants to or not. He can physically carry him through a match if he has to. So that's the thing. You're not getting that out of Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's not dragging Roman Reigns around the ring and, you know, puppeteering him into a good match. Arn Anderson can do that. So reminds me of a super cool sleepaway camp counselor. It's cool, dude. Daniel Bryan does look like a camp counselor. I never thought about that, but yeah, he's the guy who lets you have the extra s'more while he's playing acoustic guitar, right? Let you have a couple extra minutes of free swim. I don't think AJ could get a good match out of Roman. That's what I'm saying, and I didn't like the matches he had with Roman, but people talk about Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, and so that was a good match. I didn't think it was a good match. Again, for me, it was just painful watching Daniel Bryan try to freaking carry the dead weight, and it's just sad. I'm like, oh, poor Daniel Bryan. You know, that's what I saw. Same thing with AJ Styles. I'm like, he tried so hard. Were those matches better than Roman's normal matches? Absolutely. Were they better than anything he's ever done with Brock Lesnar? Absolutely. But still, I just feel bad for AJ and Daniel Bryan when I watch that. You know, Arn Anderson, I wouldn't feel bad for him. Yeah, he'll be carrying the dead weight the same, but I almost feel like when you get to beat the guy up a little bit, or you're in control, I feel like that's got to be fun for Arn, where he doesn't have to worry about breaking the guy in half. Well, maybe that's just me. Maybe Arn wouldn't enjoy that. It's just what I think. How will Roman lose the title? Nowhere near soon enough. Sadly, he might keep it till Mania. I mean, right now, I feel like the Money in the Bank cash-in is almost a must. But for me, when I look at it is, because, I mean, if WWE, I don't want to see him keep it. But there's two things. With Brock having it so long, if Roman had a short title reign and it flip-flopped a little bit to compensate for that, that wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Kind of like the way, and while I'm not a fan of it, the way the tag team division has been since New Day dropped the straps. You know, we haven't had a really long reigning tag team champs after that because they got to shuffle the belt around a little bit. But when we look at the New York crowd, if Roman Reigns had the belt at WrestleMania and loses it at WrestleMania, but to somebody that New Yorkers like, it would be a pretty big deal. It would get a pretty big pop. So, but that's a good question. Daniel Bryan looks like he's getting the YouTube McJuggernuggets. Okay. Kenny Omega can't get a good match out of Roman? No. Define good. Better than average? Better than most people? Sure. Good? No. My problems with Roman is he doesn't have a diverse moveset, so he can't do a lot. And if you can't pick him up and manhandle him, I mean, I'm sure you could get him to, you can hold on to him while he jumps. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like, picking him up and really throwing him around, which Brock can, but still. I'm not saying that's the only criteria, because, yes, Brock can manhandle him. But if you can manhandle him, you could kind of camouflage the fact that he can't do anything by manhandling them. So that's what I'm saying. There's more to it than that. You have to be a good wrestler too, like Arn Anderson. You can't phone it in like Brock Lesnar, but you have to be a good wrestler too. And if you combine those things, then you get something. See you, Nathan Norman. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you for the thumbs up, guys. I'm surprised nobody has mentioned Alexa Bliss. What about Alexa? Oh, well, yeah. William Regal could have gotten a good match out of Roman. I want to say that, but look at the Goldberg match. I did a video on it. It's interesting knowing what it is, but if you don't know about it and you just watch it, And if you're not trying to decipher what is happening, if you watch the Goldberg-William Regal match, it's just clunky nonsense, and it's only fascinating when you know the backstory behind it. So I don't know that William Regal could have. Dave, Okada or Tanahashi is the answer. To what? How would you improve Roman Reigns? I would really, first of all, he needs to develop. That was my other major issue is that he has no cardio. He can't go on for a very long time. I mean, Jericho is almost 50, and he put on a 40-minute match with Kenny Omega. So, I don't want to. I don't know what could. I understand that they say you could spend hours on a treadmill and be fine, but you can spend 5 minutes in a ring and not be fine. I get that. I don't know what it is, but clearly some people have this conditioning and others don't. Whatever it is, Roman, learn it. So that's one. Two, my thing is, if he started really chain wrestling, is he capable? I feel like it's got to be one of those things you can learn, but a guy his size, because he's not super big. He's 6'3" and, 250 or whatever he is. Yeah, he's a big dude, but he's not freak of nature gigantic. Like, The Rock is bigger than him. But if you took him, he's, I think he has more mass than Cesaro, but he's not far away from Cesaro, is whatever I'm trying to say. He's far, but if Cesaro can wrestle chain like there's no tomorrow, why can't Roman? And I don't think he could ever be that good. Train him. This is when we really miss out on having the Heart Dungeon. Because the Heart Dungeon, what they used to do in WWF, take guys that they liked, had the right look, right build, right on the mic or whatever, and they would send them up to Canada, and they would have Stu Hart train them. If he could learn to wrestle, and it could be one of those things that they never talk about. They don't make a big deal and rub it in your face, but Roman, if he just genuinely started wrestling, started doing chain, don't bring any attention to it. Just let him wrestle. Really, really wrestle. Sooner or later, I think people would slowly start warming up to the idea and start noticing. They're like, not for nothing. Did he just start putting on? Because, yes, longevity was part of it. But a lot of Cena haters kind of had to shut up when he went against CM Punk or Cesaro that one Monday Night Raw. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. There was a lot of matches that John Cena, Seth Rollins. There were a couple of matches where, Cena haters kind of didn't bark on him so much. They would say, like, all right, yeah, but that's because his opponent did all the work. Maybe that's true. I feel like you have to give some credit to Cena on those matches because he's done it consistently enough. And that's the thing about Cena. I think he's capable of it. He just doesn't most of the time. He just sticks to his, the simple moves and he sticks to the theatrics. And I get it. That's fine. But he's done it with enough people. I understand that those are all high caliber people, but he's done it enough times that I'm beginning to think he is capable of it, and I think it's hard to deny it. So if Roman started doing that, and then Roman goes against guys who are notoriously not great wrestlers or not chain wrestlers, I mean, I'll even put it this way: we've all seen the Miz improve. We've seen the Miz and Seth Rollins during Backlash was by far the best thing, and it was a pretty good match. Yeah, and you can make the same argument that Seth Rollins was behind it, but whatever the case. Miz is a guy notoriously not known for his wrestling style, has been picking it up, and people are beginning to like him for it. It's not the hardest thing. I feel bad for you guys when those guys bullied you when you interviewed them on Capital Wrestling. Hey, Double A, check out Capital Wrestling. And, yeah, what can I say, man? But, yeah, the Black and the Brave, man, they're tough guys. I knew what I was getting into when I was getting into it, but, I haven't really seen them since, so. But thank you for the concern. Bill Wagner, Hogan had a great work rate in Japan. He didn't need to in the USA. That's exactly what we were saying. I just hope Seth and Dean won't be Roman Reigns' goons. Why do a 20 moves to get the same reaction as 5? Keep your bump card low. Okay, that's a fantastic point there by Mr. Stephen James. Now, the idea is some people want, that is definitely one thing that people say, especially when you work on, Dave Lee has to watch, just back. That is one thing that a lot of people will tell you is when it comes to doing not many moves, the idea is you could get the same reaction. But I do think there is a limit to that. I understand that especially in wrestling longevity, you want to cut down your risk. But that is the kind of thing that Daniel Bryan talks about when you're wrestling in that safe style versus wrestling, a more, wrestling like a coward. That is what Daniel Bryan's talking about. And I get your point. I totally get that. However, I will say Brock Lesnar having a WrestleMania match with Goldberg where there are only 2 moves done by him and 2 moves done from his opponent is unacceptable to me. I understand trying to save your longevity of your career. I get that. But Brock clearly wasn't worried about that. So So you're right that why do 20 moves if 5 will do? But if 5 aren't working, then you need to try more. And clearly Roman Reigns is not over. So clearly Roman Reigns needs to do more than drive-by spear, Superman punch. You have a guy like Cena or Hogan, you can't do it as Titus. Haha. See, and Cena, Cena couldn't do it as Cena. Hogan could, yeah, but there you go. Cena and Hogan can do it. They just don't need to. Haha. Yeah, Cena did need to, I think. And I'm not a Cena hater. I've made it clear that I think Cena gets a little too much flack, but Roman Reigns is absolutely useless. I'll be the first guy to say that if you're pretty charismatic, you can carry your way through a lackluster career. Because, I mean, the biggest answer to me is The Rock. I mean, why does no one talk about The Rock? Is The Rock amazingly charismatic and charming? Absolutely. Is he good in the ring? By no stretch of the imagination is that true. Brock and Goldberg matches all sucked. There, I said it. I don't think anyone should agree with you. Should disagree with that. Of course, Brock Lesnar Goldberg matches all sucked. Absolutely. Would late 70s WWF fit John Cena? Yes. Yeah. I don't think he'd be top of the card, but I think he'd do well there. Or I think he'd be all right there. You know, I'll kind of put it this way. Like, John Cena, I know he's taller than him, but John Cena, I feel like at that era would be like another Ivan Putski. He might do better. So 10 moves is the midpoint. 10 moves for me is about the minimum. Roman is just so wooden. Yeah, he absolutely is. I can have 7 moves of doom. I have a video talking about the true definition of the 7 moves of doom, and a lot of people get it wrong and what it really means. Go check that video out if you'd like to know more. The more you know. I like Goldberg, and I agree. That's the other thing. Goldberg was really charismatic. Yeah, did he have a low move count? Yeah, but he was charismatic. So to Stephen James' point, yes. You know, why do X amount of moves if only this will do? But see, Goldberg was another one who really didn't seem like he was all that interested in keeping his career long. I think he was just doing it because he was pushed really early. He was pushed really early, and that's where he was at. Giant versus Giant has never really worked except in tag teams when there was an opposing moveset. That is true. I don't count Arn as a giant, nor do I care Roman Reigns as a giant. So if that's what you were referencing, I would say that. Cena equals Putski? I'm not so. Whoa. I'm not saying they're the same guy. I'm just saying I think that's the kind of level that he would. I think that's the area in which he would be treated as. And it's not. And thank you, Bill Wagner. You know, I think that's the area he'll be treated at. I understand they're very different people. I'm not trying to. I just feel like that's kind of the area. Bill Wagner. Why do I know that name? If he's a heel, could he be superstar Billy Graham? Who are we talking about? Who would Roman Reigns do? And how would Roman Reigns do in the Attitude Era? No, I don't think he'd do very good in the Attitude Era. I mean, number one, in the Attitude Era, we always have to mention this. He's working at a huge deficit because there is a ceiling. With Austin and The Rock in the Attitude Era, you can never be the guy. There's 2 guys up here, so you're gunning for 3rd place at best automatically because there ain't nobody in the history that's cracking in there. Maybe you could say Hulk Hogan. I don't know if Hulk Hogan, and I know Hulk Hogan, I'm not trying to start the Austin Hogan thing, who was bigger. I'm just saying, if Hulk Hogan started during that time period, would he be as big as Austin and The Rock? That we don't know. But fine. I will concede that Hogan and Flair, maybe. But Roman had no chance, so he could only be 3rd at best, and he probably wouldn't do that good either. Especially during a time period when McMahon is making a ton of money off of Austin and The Rock. Why would he care about pushing Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns, John Cena, these guys came out of necessity. We needed a guy. So John Cena made more sense to me. Vince McMahon says, I need someone to be the guy. This guy, John Cena, is very charismatic. He's got a great look. He really doesn't get injured all that much. Okay, why not hire him? He's a good hand, and he's a locker room leader. Why not? They're similarly skilled, Putski and Cena. Yeah. See, like I know it's not the first connection, and I now looking back on it, I realized I was like, it is an interesting pluck that I just pulled out of my head, you know, instantaneously. That was my go-to thought. But yeah, I think that's the thing. Billy Wagner was a closer for the Mets. That's why I knew his name. Okay, yeah, he came out to Enter Sandman. Yeah, that's what I'm like. I knew that name. Yeah, he came out to Enter Sandman. And we think about the Sandman every time he did. Heel Cena as superstar Billy Graham. Not really. Billy Graham was hateable on purpose. You know, when Cena was heel back, remember? Yeah, people didn't like him, but they didn't like hate him. Like, you know, he didn't know how to turn up. Amy, been following Dave for a few months. I like his video content and his old school focus. Thank you so much, Bill Wagner, and thank you, Amy, for it seems like Amy, you're the reason why he's here. So thank you, Amy. Jack Gallagher for Universal Champion. That would be nice, but I would not hold my breath on that. Bill Wagner, were you a closer for the Mets and the Astros? That'd be awesome if he was. If so, I have your bobblehead. All right, that's why. Not the same dude, Matty. Roman would be a lower mid-card. Look at how deep the card was in the 80s. Yeah, during the Attitude Era, I kind of feel like, hey, what's up there, Yoda? Yeah, I kind of feel like that would be the thing. Like, Roman Reigns in the Attitude Era, he'd be like he'd be on, like, the Headbangers level. Just because, like, why would you need, like, he gets pushed, like, he's getting pushed now because Vince McMahon feels like that's his best option. Bill Wagner is apparently a much more common name than I thought. I think River came out to Enter Sandman, not Wagner. No, Wagner did come out to Enter Sandman. That is, River might have as well, but Wagner definitely came out to Enter Sandman. That is true. Is this Wagner bloke some baseball player? Because I have no clue. They both did, Jenna. See? Favorite submission in wrestling? Sharpshooter. What is the best EGA for CM Punk? EGA? Roman would be in a feud with Val Venus. That, dude, I was totally thinking that, D-Bone. Yes, that is a possibility, too. Capital shows how much I care. I am finding the horse. Oh, Jane Ross. Well, welcome to the live stream, Jane Ross, but the horse collar, this is what I thought you didn't like the horse collar. Or I could be mistaken. Billy Wagner started as a right-hander, ruined his elbow, switched to being left. So, Bill Wagner, is this kind of like how I know things about the former New York Nick David Lee? Is this the... So, do you feel my pain? We're on the same level there? David's right. Wagner did come in to understand it. Thank you, Matty. My favorite match stipulation, Dave? Ooh. I like ladder matches when done well, but there was a certain match that was the saddest thing in history when they had one ladder and it broke. I will also say, but I like, again, when they're done well, I like Iron Man matches too. But there's been like 2 good ones ever, so that's not true. There have been more than that. What is your guys' favorite match stipulation? Well, let me know. Favorite New Japan? New Japan or the new ECW? New Japan by far. The WWE ECW did not exist. Locust Lock's cool. Okay. Is Naito the 2000-2001 Chris Jericho of New Japan? No, I mean, granted, not being the language barrier thing is a bit of a problem, but I don't think Naito is near, from what I can judge, it doesn't seem that Naito is anywhere near as charismatic as Chris Jericho. Because Jericho is great in the ring and on the mic. Naito is an interesting character, but I don't see him rocking the microphone like Jericho can. Sure, maybe it's a language barrier thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is, for all, maybe he is a Chris Jericho on the microphone for all I know, but best stipulation match, King of the Road. Oh, that cannot be the answer. I'm the only one who really likes the Four Corners match. O.C. Blake? I can't help you out there, Steve. What ladder match are you talking about? I meant ladder matches in general. But see, I like... When I say ladder match, I am incorporating all ECW stairway matches. Prank call Albert. I think he's at work right now. with the Dudley. Hey, Terrell! They should have done Iron Man table match. Wow, that would be nuts. A Brace House of Horror match. No, wrong. Who's wrong? In terms of booking and structure, question mark. What was the question? In terms of booking and structure, okay, that makes more sense, but I would say no, because 2001 Jericho did not get the main event like Naito has. I mean, I see your point. Naito's got a very fascinating career in me. I won't say that because Naito had to leave to gain respect to come back. And, Naito was booked originally as a squeaky clean babyface, left, came back as, the crazy, evil, dark Naito that he is now. And then he started getting over, even though he came back kind of heely. It was, he was supposed to be a squeaky clean babyface that everyone liked. And, hey, he won the G1. And then no one cared. And everyone's like, boo, I hate this guy. And when I say boo, I hate this guy, I mean, as rowdy as Japanese audiences are capable of getting. And, he really didn't get over. Disappears, goes to Japan, goes to Mexico for a little bit, comes back like insane. I used to make this joke that I thought Naito, licked a frog or something while he was in Mexico and came back crazy. I quit match. I quit matches is good. I quit matches are good, except the reason I don't like I quit matches is because they always end, most of the time at least, with some goofy shenanigans. Like they have to be tricked into saying they quit, or there's some audio tape, or there's some nonsense shenanigans. Nobody ever just quits and the match is over. I know it has happened. I'm just saying it usually doesn't happen. Ladder matches do end with just somebody winning, just climbing the ladder. Yeah, have there been shenanigan ladder matches? Absolutely, but there's been a lot more ladder matches. But yeah. Yeah, that is, yes, Warhawk Ramble, that is very true. New Japan, is very aware of when they make a mistake. Viagra on a pole match, no. Pole match, jeez. The anchor, actually, that's a really neat submission. I like that Jane is going to some interesting ones. To pick a more recent one. Thoughts on the old school table matches with Midnight? Oh, with the Midnight at Midnight Express at Starrcade. See, okay, here's the thing. I don't love table matches. Japanese fans have rage like Canadian people have disagreements. They mildly agree to disagree. Yeah. It's like, I have a lot of family in Canada too, so that's why also I find it funny. I usually find myself having to adjust my answer when I talk about the New Japan crowd, or people getting. I feel like you got to make that distinction because I feel like my description of it sometimes is more animated than the crowd really gets. Because when I say I'm like, oh, the crowd popped huge in Japan. Wait a minute. When I say they popped huge, that reaction was too big. Like, a huge pop in Japan is. That's like. That's the, that's like, that's the equivalent of them going crazy in Japan. Do you not see the crowd when Naito comes? No, I'm kidding. They are more animated than that. I'm just joking. But that what I mean. You're gonna take a New Japan crowd and you're gonna put them in a decibel, auditorium, going against a Philadelphia crowd. No contest. Philly is gonna be louder. Too many Japanese still love table matches. Batista's okay for what Batista got a little too much push, especially the last time he was around. He's gotten pushed a little too much, but he was okay. I really like him behind. I like him behind the scenes more than anything else. I like him out of the ring more than anything else. Roman should be heel, Dave. I just kind of would like it if he just went away. Best stipulation 24/7 rule for a hardcore title. New answer, says D-Bone. Championship Scramble is actually pretty good. I like that. I love Japanese audience. They seem to be impressed by everything the wrestlers do. Yeah, they appreciate what they do more. One of the best things I ever saw that I totally marked out for, I believe it was Nakamura versus Tanahashi. It was definitely Nakamura, but I believe it was Tanahashi. And there was this exchange where Nakamura kept going for kicks, and they both kept swinging at each other, but they missed. And they just kept, and when Nakamura goes for a stop, but Tanahashi moves out of the way. And Nakamura's tried it in WWE, but no one cares. And they did this whole exchange where they just kept going for each other, but never making any contact. Then they stopped. And as soon as they stopped and did the pose off, the showdown, stare down with each other after the sequence was over, the New Japan crowd clapped. And as rowdy as they were capable of getting, all of a sudden just strong golf claps. Just they appreciated it. They appreciated it a lot. And I thought that was amazing. I was so blown away by that audience. I was like, wow, I really like this crowd. They appreciated nothing but whiffs. They get it. I'm like, oh, these fans are amazing. You know, it was the opposite of that Pittsburgh crowd where they booed, where they were counting along with the clock for the Iron Man. You know, it was a complete opposite feeling. Cool. I'll go with that for best step 24/7 hardcore title. I don't know if you guys are serious or not. Japanese culture has different appreciation for fighting arts. Yeah, they do. But see, here's the thing. You know what I think is funny? I think, and all you guys from England will know, is when it came to England, like England has like that stereotype that they are a dry culture, but it's really not true. Like, you know, the English fans are great. You know, especially when a lot of them for WrestleMania, I believe it was after 29 on Raw. You know, that crowd was fantastic. Fantastic, and there was a lot of British fans that came over. So British fans absolutely are great, even though they have that stereotype. And New Japan, I think, is changing. The Japanese audience, I think, is changing a little bit. I think they're getting a little more boisterous, but there's just so much more respectful, it seems, or so much more quiet. And you know, to each their own. Toronto is the best wrestling crowd on earth. But yeah, it depends on what you're looking for. I love the fact that New Japan audiences appreciate finer things, but I really like how loud Northeast crowds get. I love that they're loud and obnoxious. I like that when they love the guy, they'll let you know. When they hate a guy, they will let them know. I'm pretty guilty of this. I really don't know. And I'm better than I used to be. Like, when I was in my 20s, I was way worse. Way worse. Shouting off my head, yeah. Answer Grado. That's how UK fans are. Wish the American wrestling scene was like Japanese wrestling scene. Yeah, that'd be nice. Dave, do you see Strong Style being similar to old school ECW work rate and forcing WWE to adjust? To a small degree, yeah, because I think it's already happening. However, I don't think it's New Japan so much as, believe it or not, Ring of Honor. Because I look at Ring of Honor, and I think WWE is adapting more of a Ring of Honor style. And yeah, don't get me wrong, there is influence from New Japan in Ring of Honor, as well as the fact that there is a similarity. But I look at that, especially with the landscape. I mean, let's look at Tyler Black, Kevin Steen, El Generico, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, so on and so forth. A lot of ROH, Samoa Joe, I could keep going. So much Ring of Honor talent has ended up in WWE, and the mainstream, with the exception of like Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, a lot of the main event scene is built up from Ring of Honor guys. So I think Ring of Honor is more influential. New Japan style, I think, is only going to go so far with the WWE, but Ring of Honor, I think, is changing the guard for what WWE is looking for. Not completely, but I think Ring of Honor has been more on that level than New Japan. The next Raw is in Toronto, I think. Can't wait. ROH and New Japan collab has really changed how Americans look. But see, there's not a lot of that forum stuff that we get in New Japan. So like, I see some of it, but I don't see a lot of it, and they're definitely not working as stiff as New Japan. WWE isn't working as stiff, I would say. WWE will never go with the New Japan style. No. Impact has been really good recently. Recently being the key part of that sentence. I'm excited that there's a UK NXT now starting up. Yeah. Yes, there have been. All right, guys. Okay, so I got to get going. But thank you for all the thumbs up. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for being a part of this live stream. Rock made his name. So thank you for being a part of this live stream. If you're going to be at Boardwalk Beatdown tomorrow, I'll be there. If I'm not enough of a reason for you to go, Sting will be there too, as will Goldberg. So, if you can't stop by, I'm either going to be geeking out with wrestlers or I am going to be in a casino somewhere. But anyway, thank you so much for being a part of this show. Thank you so much for the thumbs up and the likes. Please check out my comic book channel and subscribe there, Dave Knows Comics. Would really like if that channel can start getting a little bit more play, especially from all you guys. So thanks again for watching, and as always, Dave Knows.